After you've taken your physical inventory and you come back to the system, you'll highlight your inventory sheet. You'll click on the inventory button on the left hand side. It'll bring up the items. Then you can enter in the quantities that you had on hand. When you're entering in counts, you can also use decimal places. So if you have 5.5 bags, you could enter in 5.5. Or you could also enter in that you had 275 pounds of flour and then zero out the cases. So any way you want to describe that, the system will accommodate your calculations. In the event that you have multiple product numbers that you've been buying, you can also right click and go to additional pack sizes, and this will display the vendor's product numbers that have been assigned to that item, where you can select it, enter in the quantity under that additional pack size, and answer OK, and it will add the values to the inventory that's been recorded. And then once you have your counts entered in, you can click on the little down arrow key next to the print button, and you'll see that there's 3 reports here. Or if you just click on the main print button, it'll automatically go to the verify counts report. Just go ahead and select OK to that under the current report, and you'll see that we have the items listed here with the quantities that we entered in with your inventory extension, as well as the page break total. If I go to the next page, you'll see that the next item for the ground turkey is there, gives you a grand total for the page as well as a grand total for the entire report. At that point, to your discretion whether you print this or not, I would recommend initially to print it out so that you have a copy of it, and then verify it against your handwritten record, and then any corrections that you need to make them at this time. Once you've entered in all of your accounts and you've verified them, you can also do the summary report, which is going to be built based on the framework that we've structured for your location. We have everything broke down into the food, and in this case, here's a grand total for the food. Your cost categories are your general ledger account numbers for corporate reporting, and then the inventory group, which has been assigned to each one of the items, will give you a grand total for each section of that inventory. So once inventory counts have been entered in, they've all been verified, what you'll do is you'll click on the post button, and it'll say, are you ready to post the worksheet? Answer yes. Enter the date of the inventory. Then it's going to ask you, would you like to create transactions with items with no value? So in this example, we don't have any value on the ground turkey. I would go ahead and answer yes to that. And what that's done now, if I go back into inventory, it has now cleared my worksheet for the following week. If I double click into the item, it will open up the item screen, and you'll see that under transactions, my physical inventory transaction will be displayed. And here's my 4,400 units that I received, which is the equivalent of 5.5 cases of the pack size displayed up above. So your counts have been cleared. After you've entered in your physical inventory, you've entered in all your purchases, you feel that all the transactions for the weekly reporting period have been entered into Foodco, what you'll want to do is you'll want to come into the period section, and what we will do is I'll go ahead and do this for the 14th because that's where I post them to. I'll calculate that period by clicking on the calculate button, or you can also click on the check mark over here on the left hand side to calculate that process. Under the inventory reports, you have the inventory extension report that you can select, and then you can go ending by GL account and then answer OK, and it will bring up the period dates. It'll show that it's been calculated and when it was last calculated. If you double click on it, it will bring up your report and show you the inventory items that you had inventory counts on, give you the grand total for that, so that it can be a journal entry, or